Hello and welcome to Gradient's weekly roundup of key business and financial developments in Sri Lanka for the week ending 5th August 2022. I'm Roshaanr and here are the top stories for this week. President says a noticeable improvement in the economy is months away. No new funding from World Bank until macroeconomic reforms. World Food Programme says petrol not enough for Sri Lanka's daily needs. Over 47,000 tourists in July. We will also briefly look at other notable news that made it across to our news desk and wrap up with the capital markets update. In our main story this week, on Sunday, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, speaking to the Wall Street Journal, stated that Sri Lanka has experienced the worst of its economic crisis and added that a noticeable improvement is still several months away. He said political stability would help the country turn around, starting with an IMF bailout. Mr. Wickremesinghe expects an IMF staff-level agreement by the end of August and stated that next year over $3 billion from other sources is required for fuel, food and fertilizer imports. The World Bank said that until an adequate macroeconomic policy framework is in place, it does not intend to offer new financing to Sri Lanka. It added that the need to adopt structural reforms on economic stabilization and to tackle the root causes of the crisis, which eroded foreign exchange, resulting in food, fuel and medicine shortages. The financial institution also noted that it is repurposing resources under its loan portfolio to help with shortages of essential items among poor and vulnerable households in the country. On Sunday, the World Food Programme stated that Sri Lanka's remaining petrol reserves will likely be insufficient to meet daily needs. It noted that this situation has impacted almost all aspects of daily life, thwarting people's ability to get to work, interrupting school and government services. Meanwhile, on Wednesday, Kanchana Wijesekara, Minister of Power and Energy, said that a payment for a cargo of diesel has been made and the discharging process was to start. He added that the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation had entered into a one-year agreement for the supply of jet fuel. According to the SLTDA, tourist arrivals in July reached 47,293. India was the largest source market, followed by Germany and France. In 2022, cumulatively 458,670 tourists have visited the country and appear in line to meet the 1 million target for the year. According to the central bank, tourist receipts were $59.1 million in June, driving to $738 million in the first half of the year. In other news, a trade surplus of $21 million was recorded in June for the first time in 20 years. This was due to the exports reaching a high of $1.2 billion and imports declining. Imports were mainly down as the oil bill was only $200 million in the month compared to the January to May monthly average of $475 million. Inflation in July, as measured by the Colombo Consumer Price Index, reached another record high of 60.8%, up from 54.6% a month earlier. Food inflation increased a staggering 90.9% year over year, whilst prices of the non-food group grew 46.5%. Price increases in the non-food group were mainly due to transport costs. And now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the All Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 Index at the Colombo Stock Exchange. At the Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on all-term maturities contracted for a third week. Of the 191 billion rupees worth of bids, 87.5 billion rupees were accepted. And here's how the rupee performed against the dollar this week. In other market news, Ideal Motors unveiled a fully electric car. The company stated that it is with 65% local value addition and has a range of 200 kilometers from a 10-unit charge. Slated to go into production this November, the price would be about under 4 million rupees. And that's a wrap for this week. Follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube for more updates on business and financial developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.